Hey everyone, I am absolutely thrilled to have you here for this explainer organized by Cyventra Technologies. Today, we're going to completely demystify the hacker ecosystem. We hear the word hacker thrown around all the time, right? But the reality of who these people actually are and why they do what they do is honestly far more complex and fascinating than you might think.
I mean, have you ever actually wondered who's on the other side of a cyber attack? It's so easy to just buy into that classic Hollywood myth. You know the one. You picture a lone, shadowy figure in a dark room wearing a hoodie, furiously typing green code onto a black screen. But that stereotype? It's incredibly outdated. The reality is that the threat actors on the other side of the screen are wildly diverse, and they have entirely different motivations. Some are actually trying to help improve our security, while others are completely focused on stealing data, demanding massive ransoms, or just severely disrupting systems.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for the explainer today. First, the hacker spectrum. 2. Ideology and nations. 3. Amateurs and insiders. 4. Weapons of choice. And finally, defending the digital.
All right, starting off with Section 1, the hacker spectrum.
It's really important to realize that hacking itself is just a skill. It's all about how you actually use it, and this brilliantly illustrates that point. To make sense of this, the industry categorizes hackers by the color of the hats they wear. It's a fun little nod to those old Western movies where the good guys wore white hats and the bad guys were black. So on one side, we have white hat hackers. These are authorized, ethical professionals whose entire mission is to find weaknesses and help organizations strengthen their defenses before a real attack happens. They want to improve security, never to cause harm. But on the flip side are the black hat hackers. These are your cyber criminals. They're looking to gain unauthorized access purely for personal or financial gain. They're the ones deploying ransomware, committing fraud, and selling stolen data on the dark web.
But hey, the digital world isn't just black and white. Enter the gray hat hackers. These operators fall right into that murky middle ground. A gray hat might poke around a network and discover a severe vulnerability, but they do it without any permission whatsoever. Now, they usually don't intend to cause harm, and they actually often inform the organization about the weakness they found. But here's the critical takeaway. Even if their intentions are totally helpful, accessing systems without proper authorization is still against the law in many jurisdictions. It's a massive legal gray area.
Moving right along to Section 2, Ideology and Nations. First up in this category, we've got hacktivists. Hacktivists are individuals, or sometimes organized groups, who use hacking as a direct form of political or social activism. Their motivation is ideological, plain and simple. It's rarely ever about the money. They want to promote a specific political cause or protest against the actions of governments and major corporations. So they might deface public-facing websites with their messaging, leak highly sensitive organizational information to the public, or launch disruptive attacks just to take services offline. Basically, they're using their digital skills to make a very loud, very public statement. Then we have a profoundly serious category, state-sponsored hackers. These are absolutely not individuals operating out of a basement. These are incredibly well-funded, highly skilled groups working directly on behalf of governments or national intelligence agencies. You can basically think of them as the digital spies of the modern era. Their focus is long-term espionage and strategic cyber warfare, and they target massive entities. We're talking other governments, critical infrastructure, major financial institutions, and defense systems. The sheer scale and the massive organizational resources behind these attacks make them incredibly sophisticated.
Scaling up the severity even further, we have to look at cyber terrorists. This group uses digital attacks specifically designed to create widespread fear, panic, and severe disruption to society. They aren't just trying to quietly steal data, they're actively trying to cripple the essential services that keep a nation running safely. And their targets are deeply concerning. We are talking about power grids, transportation systems, life-saving healthcare services, government infrastructure, and crucial communication networks. A successful attack by cyber terrorists can have immediate, physical, real-world consequences.
Let's move to Section 3 and see how this builds, amateurs and insiders. This brings us to a surprisingly disruptive group, script kiddies. These are largely inexperienced individuals who frankly lack the deep technical understanding to write complex code or create their own custom hacking tools. Instead, they just download existing prepackaged attack software straight from the internet and point it at a target. It's literally like someone firing a high-tech weapon that they have absolutely no idea how to build. They might deface websites or launch simple cyber attacks just for the thrill of it. But whatever you do not underestimate them. Because despite their limited skills, the tools they're using are powerful, and they can absolutely cause very real, very costly disruption.
So the crucial point here is that not every single cyber attack comes from the outside. Introducing the insider threat. This includes employees, contractors, or business partners who already have the keys to the castle. Sometimes it's totally intentional, like an unhappy employee stealing confidential data or actively misusing their system privileges. But honestly, often it's completely accidental. It's someone falling for a trick, sharing sensitive information improperly, or simply ignoring security policies. And because they already have access, these threats bypass traditional perimeter defenses entirely. That makes strong access controls and continuous security awareness training absolutely essential to stop internal data theft.
All right, so we've thoroughly covered the who, we know the profiles, we know the motivations, and we know where they operate from. But that brings us to the next incredibly vital question. How do these hackers actually get in? Let's pivot our focus for a second, away from the people behind the keyboards, and look at the actual tactics they use to breach systems.
Which perfectly sets up Section 4, Weapons of Choice.
These right here are the weapons in their digital arsenals, and believe me, they use them constantly. We are talking about phishing emails, which are specifically designed to trick you into clicking malicious links, social engineering to psychologically manipulate you into handing over confidential info, malware to infect systems, and ransomware to literally hold your precious data hostage until you pay up. They use relentless password attacks to guess your credentials, spend their days exploiting unpatched software vulnerabilities, and launch denial-of-service attacks to completely overwhelm and crash networks. Understanding these specific techniques is absolutely the first step to defending yourself. Finally, that brings us to Section 5, Defending the Digital. Okay, here is your simple, highly applicable 3-step action plan to ward off everyone from that inexperienced script kiddie we talked about, right up to the sophisticated black hat. Step 1, secure your access. This means using strong, totally unique passwords for every single account and critically enabling multi-factor authentication wherever possible. Step 2, maintain your defenses. You absolutely must keep all your software updated to patch those vulnerabilities and always install trusted security software. Step 3, be vigilant and backup. Be highly cautious with the emails and links you receive, regularly back up your important data so ransomware totally loses its power over you, and actively participate in continuous cybersecurity awareness training.
As you can see, hackers come in many forms, with entirely different motivations and techniques. But by understanding these categories, we can all recognize the threats, strengthen our defenses, and build a much safer digital environment. Ultimately, though, cybersecurity is everyone's responsibility. It doesn't just fall on the IT department's shoulders. So, I'm going to leave you with this provocative question to chew on. In the chain of digital defense, are you the strongest link or the weakest? A huge thank you to Cyventra Technologies for organizing the insights in this explainer today. Keep learning, stay informed, stay secure, and most importantly, stay cyber aware.